Some family heirlooms are worth more than their monetary value, but my cousin Amanda never understood that. I'm Charlotte, and this is the story of how my grandmother's old ring revealed not just its true worth, but also a family secret that changed everything. Grandma Rose was always my favorite person in the world. While the rest of the family focused on appearances and social status, she taught me about the importance of understanding history and preserving memories. Every Sunday afternoon, while my cousin Amanda was out shopping or partying, I would sit with Grandma in her study, listening to stories about our family's past. "This ring," she would say, touching the simple gold band with its modest diamond that she always wore, "has seen more history than all of us combined." Amanda used to make fun of that ring. "Really, Grandma," she'd say during family gatherings, "you should let me buy you something more impressive. That tiny diamond is so outdated." But Grandma would just smile and shake her head. "Some things are worth more than their appearance suggests," she'd reply, sharing a knowing look with me. I never knew the full story behind the ring. Whenever I asked, Grandma would say, "All in good time, dear. Some stories need the right moment to be told." Then Grandma got sick. Cancer, the doctors said. Terminal. During her final weeks, she asked to see me alone. Amanda was furious about this, convinced that Grandma was going to give me something valuable. "I should be there too," she protested. "I'm her granddaughter just as much as Charlotte is." But Grandma was firm. She wanted to see me alone. In her hospital room, she took off her ring for the first time I could remember. "Charlotte," she said, her voice weak but determined, "I want you to have this. But you must promise me something." "Anything, Grandma. Don't let anyone know you have it until after the memorial service. And when the time comes, take it to Gregory Maxwell at Maxwell and Sons Appraisers. Only him, understand? He'll know what to do." I promised, puzzled but trusting her wisdom as I always had. She slipped the ring into my hand, along with an envelope. "Don't open this until after you've seen Mr. Maxwell," she added. Grandma passed away 3 days later. The family gathered for the funeral, and I kept my promise, saying nothing about the ring. But during the memorial service at Grandma's house, Amanda started going through Grandma's jewelry box. "Where is it?" she demanded, becoming increasingly agitated. "Where's Grandma's ring?" "What ring?" my Aunt Elizabeth asked. "Her gold ring. The one she always wore." Amanda was practically shouting now. "It's worth at least $50,000. Everyone turned to stare at her. "That old thing," Uncle Robert scoffed. "It couldn't be worth more than a few $100s. "Shows what you know," Amanda snapped. "I had it appraised while Grandma was sick. That's an antique European cut diamond. It's worth a fortune, and as the eldest granddaughter, it should be mine." I felt the ring grow heavy in my pocket. Amanda continued ransacking Grandma's belongings, becoming more frantic by the minute. "Someone took it," she finally screamed, turning to face the gathered family. "Someone stole my ring." "Your ring?" I couldn't help asking. It was Grandma's ring. Amanda's eyes narrowed. You were the last one to see her alone. You took it, didn't you?" Before I could respond, she launched herself at me, trying to search my pockets. "Give it to me. That ring belongs to me." Uncle Robert and my father had to pull her away. The memorial service dissolved into chaos, with Amanda threatening legal action and demanding that everyone be searched. That evening, after everyone had gone, I called Maxwell and Sons Appraisers. The receptionist initially tried to schedule me with one of their regular appraisers, but I insisted on seeing Gregory Maxwell himself, just as Grandma had instructed. "Mr. Maxwell is semi-retired," she explained. "He only handles special cases." "Tell him it's about Rose Hamilton's ring," I said. There was a long pause then. "Mr. Maxwell will see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. The appraisal office was an elegant old building in the historic district. Gregory Maxwell turned out to be an elderly gentleman with kind eyes and a scholarly manner. When I showed him the ring, his hands trembled slightly. "I've been waiting for this," he said softly. "Your grandmother told me you would come." He examined the ring carefully, using various tools and magnifiers. Then he sat back in his chair and looked at me with an expression I couldn't quite read. "My dear," he said, "this isn't just any ring. This ring belongs to one of the oldest families in Europe, the Rothschild family." I stared at him in disbelief. "But how?" "Your grandmother's ring is part of a collection that disappeared during World War II. The Rothschilds had to flee their Vienna palace in 1938, leaving behind countless treasures. This ring was part of a larger collection of family jewels that were thought to be lost forever." He pulled out a large book and showed me photographs of similar rings. The craftsmanship is unmistakable. The setting, the cut of the diamond, it's all consistent with the Rothschild collection. But more importantly, he carefully turned the ring over, there's a tiny maker's mark here that proves its authenticity. My head was spinning. So Amanda was right about its value? Mr. Maxwell smiled. Oh no, my dear. Your cousin's estimate of $50,000 wasn't even close. This ring, given its historical significance and provenance, is worth approximately $8.5 million. I nearly fell out of my chair. Million, indeed. But there's more to this story. He pressed a hidden spring in his desk, revealing a concealed drawer. From it, he removed a thick file. Your grandmother asked me to keep this safe until you came with the ring. The file contained documents, photographs, and letters, a paper trail that led back to 1938. As Mr. Maxwell explained, my grandmother hadn't just owned a valuable ring. She had been part of a network that helped save Jewish families and their treasures during the war. Your grandmother was just a young woman then, he said, but she worked with the resistance, helping families escape and protecting their heritage. This ring was entrusted to her by the Rothschild family themselves, with instructions to keep it safe until it could be properly returned. But why didn't she return it after the war? She tried, but the original owners didn't survive, and their heirs were scattered across the world. She made it her life's mission to track them down. That's where I came in. I've been helping her search for the rightful heirs for the past 30 years. I remembered all those Sunday afternoons in Grandma's study, all the stories she told me about history and family. She had been preparing me for this moment all along. 2 months ago, Mr. Maxwell continued, we finally located the last surviving heir. Your grandmother was too ill to handle the matter herself, so she entrusted the task to you. He handed me the envelope Grandma had given me. Inside was a letter and a photograph of a young woman in 1930s Vienna, wearing the same ring. My dearest Charlotte, the letter began. If you're reading this, then Mr. Maxwell has explained about the ring. What he doesn't know is that there's another part to this story, a part that involves our own family's history. The letter went on to reveal that the young woman in the photograph wasn't just any victim of the Nazi regime. She was my grandmother's mother. Our family was one of those the Rothschilds had tried to help escape. The ring had been given to her not just for safekeeping, but as a means of funding the resistance's efforts. I never told the family about our Jewish heritage, Grandma wrote. After the war, it seemed safer to keep quiet. But I've watched you grow up with the same sense of justice and respect for history that my mother had. I know you'll do the right thing. The right thing, it turned out, was completing Grandma's mission. Mr. Maxwell helped me contact the Rothschild heir, a great-grandson of the original owners who lived in Switzerland. When I explained the situation and offered to return the ring, his response surprised me. Your grandmother was a hero, he said during our video call. She and others like her saved not just our family's treasures, but our lives. The ring belongs to your family now. It was earned with courage and kept safe with honor. But I knew what Grandma would want. Working with Mr. Maxwell and the Rothschild family's lawyers, we arranged for the ring to be donated to a Holocaust museum, where it would help tell the story of both the victims and the brave people who risked everything to help them. When the story became public, Amanda was beside herself. You gave away $8.5 million? She shrieked during yet another family gathering. Are you insane? No, I replied calmly. I helped fulfill Grandma's promise and honored our family's true legacy. The revelation about our family's history and Grandma's role in the resistance changed everything. Those who had dismissed her as just a quiet old woman with an unfashionable ring now understood that she had been a hero all along. Uncle Robert, who had scoffed at the ring's value, was particularly humbled when he learned the truth. All those years, he said, we thought Mom was just being sentimental about that ring. We never knew. The museum created a special exhibition around the ring, telling both the Rothschild family's story and my grandmother's role in preserving their heritage. They invited me to speak at the opening ceremony, where I shared some of the stories Grandma had told me during our Sunday afternoons together. Amanda didn't attend the ceremony. She was still angry about losing what she saw as a potential fortune. But her absence only highlighted the difference between those who value things for their price and those who understand their true worth. A few months after the exhibition opened, I received another surprise. The Rothschild family, moved by our decision to donate the ring, established a foundation in my grandmother's name. The foundation would work to preserve Holocaust artifacts and support education about the resistance movements that helped save so many lives. They asked me to serve on the foundation's board, a role that would allow me to continue Grandma's work of preserving history and sharing important stories. It was worth far more than $8.5 million. Last week, I visited the museum and stood for a long time in front of the display containing Grandma's ring. Next to it was the photograph of my great-grandmother wearing it in Vienna, along with the story of how one piece of jewelry connected two families across generations and continents. A group of school children was touring the exhibition, and I overheard their guide explaining the ring's significance. "This isn't just about the monetary value," she said, echoing Grandma's words from long ago. "It's about the courage of ordinary people who did extraordinary things to help others during humanity's darkest hours." I thought about Amanda then, about how she had seen only the dollar signs and missed the real treasure. The story of our family's courage and conviction. The ring had never been about its material worth. It was about the values it represented and the history it preserved. Grandma Rose had known exactly what she was doing when she chose me to complete her mission. She had spent all those Sunday afternoons teaching me that some things are worth more than money. Things like honor, courage, and keeping promises. The museum curator told me that the ring has become one of their most popular exhibits. People are drawn not just to its beauty or value, but to the story it tells about human dignity and sacrifice. Amanda eventually apologized for her behavior at the memorial service, though I suspect she still doesn't truly understand why I gave up such a valuable piece of jewelry. But that's okay. Some people measure worth in dollars, while others measure it in deeds. The envelope Grandma gave me contained one more item I haven't mentioned: a small key to a safe deposit box. Inside, I found journals detailing her work with the resistance, names of families she helped save, and correspondence with other heroes of that dark time. These documents, far more valuable than any ring, are now being studied by historians who are amazed at the depth of her involvement in saving lives during the war. My quiet, unassuming grandmother, who seemed content to tell stories to her granddaughter on Sunday afternoons, had been a giant in her own right. The true story of my grandmother's ring wasn't about its monetary value or even its historical significance. It was about the choices people make when faced with injustice, about the courage to do what's right even when it's dangerous, and about the importance of preserving these stories for future generations. Every time I visit the museum and see that ring in its display case, I think about how Amanda's greed nearly derailed its final journey home. But more importantly, I think about Grandma Rose, who understood that some treasures are measured not in carats or dollars, but in the lives they touch and the stories they tell. The ring that caused such drama at the memorial service now serves its highest purpose: teaching new generations about courage, sacrifice, and the importance of standing up for what's right. And that, as Grandma always said, is worth more than all the diamonds in the world.